So there's this leaked list of potential Masters of the Universe Origins figures that could or could not be coming in the new year. And, well, I kind of want to talk about that list. Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and look, I don't normally do the rumor thing, right? I don't like really bringing up rumors or like speculation and stuff like that. It's not something I've done a whole lot of on this channel, but I found this list really interesting, so I guess I'm just gonna do that this time. This list is courtesy of a website called mygrod.com. I think they are mostly an Imaginext website, but they published this leaked list of upcoming Masters of the Universe Origins toys. I believe that these leaked out of Germany. I think these are like retail leaks. So these have already been like solicited, and that's how this all leaked out. So I'm just giving credit to where I know it. I don't know if that's for sure where this list came from, but this is the link I keep seeing spread around. This is the link that's been shared with me a whole bunch. So I'll post that in the video description if you guys want to check that out for yourself. Please keep in mind, this is not a confirmed list. This is leaked. It supposedly came from like solicitations, so it's possible that this is all real, but this is not officially announced by Mattel. Some of this stuff is, and we'll talk about that as we go through this, but please take all of this with a grain of salt because we do not know for sure if this stuff is really coming or if things are going to change or if things were misinterpreted. You never know with these leaked lists. All right, so really interesting, first of all, like they've got dates next to all of these that don't make any sense because the dates next to all of these say 2020. And I guess that would make sense for some of this stuff at the end of the year, but there's a bunch of stuff on here that's slated for January 2020 and August 2020, and obviously that's not a thing. That can't happen. So most of this stuff is probably supposed to be for 2021. I don't know if this website just put the dates down wrong or if like the solicitations were wrong. I don't know what's going on there. The dates are very wrong on this, so I am not going to really talk about the dates for any of these. Let's just talk about the toys that they've got listed. So the first couple things on the list are really interesting to me, and they seem very wrong. The top of the list says PowerCon She-Ra figure. Now, we know that there was a PowerCon exclusive She-Ra figure. It already went up for sale during PowerCon, or just prior to PowerCon. It has not shipped yet. That is not getting a retail release. Now, there is a She-Ra figure that's getting a retail release, but it's going to differ from the PowerCon version because the card back is going to be different. And as we've seen from some of the cross sales, specifically for Castle Grayskull, the colors are different for the retail release as well. So I don't know if this is just listed because they're going to be shipping the PowerCon exclusive one, but PowerCon She-Ra is not getting a retail release that I know of. The second one on the list is PowerCon Mossman figure. This is super confusing because there was no PowerCon Mossman. And as far as I know, there's not going to be a PowerCon Mossman figure. Now that, I don't know, maybe that's going to change, but I work with PowerCon. I don't know anything about a Mossman figure. So I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if this means that there was talks of there being a Mossman as an exclusive. I don't know if this means that we're getting Mossman as just an Origins figure and he's mislabeled. But this is the one thing I want to speculate on myself. During PowerCon, one of the things Mattel announced was that there's going to be a brand new Masters of the Universe line next year, which is going to be a 7-inch scale line, and the first wave is going to specifically focus on the new Revelations animated series. And one of the silhouettes they showed was definitely Mossman. Maybe that's what this is. I don't know for sure, but that separate line, that 7-inch line, is supposed to be coming out in 2021, and I think we see some more of that down towards the bottom of this list, so we're going to get to that soon. The next couple on the list we definitely knew about. Roboto, Merman, both revealed at PowerCon. We knew those were coming. Triclops is the next one on the list. Makes a lot of sense. We know that we're getting that fan vote version of Triclops, which is like the mini comics version of Triclops. So maybe that's what this is, or maybe this is a standard Triclops. We don't know for sure, but we know that we're getting that fan vote Triclops. So maybe that's what this is. This next one is really interesting. It says Evil Lyn 2. Does that mean they're just going to reissue Evil Lyn? Or are we going to get Evil Lyn maybe with a different color scheme? Maybe with like the purple color scheme instead of the yellow and blue. Very possible, but kind of cool. Another Evil Lyn already. The next one, there's 2 figures on this list now that are interesting, and I don't know what to make of it. LOP Merman and LOP Beastman. Now, I'm assuming that LOP means Lords of Power. If you don't already know, the big exclusive for PowerCon was the Lords of Power 5-pack, which was like Beastman and Merman and He-Man and Skeletor and Man-at-Arms, which were meant to look like the original prototypes for the vintage Masters of the Universe toy line when that line was originally going to be called Lords of Power. Those were PowerCon exclusive. I don't know why these are listed here. I don't know if that means that Merman and Beastman from Lords of Power are for some reason also going to get a retail release. That seems strange. First of all, the convention exclusives like that don't usually get a retail release. Second of all, making Lords of Power figures for retail seems like too obscure. Most people don't know what Lords of Power is unless you're a diehard fan. So it's really weird to see something like that hitting retail. I don't know. It's kind of strange. The next couple on the list are very cool. Stinkor and Fisto. Both of those have not been announced yet, but they make a lot of sense. Stinkor is an easy reuse of parts, though it is going to introduce the mecha neck armor, so that's going to be interesting. Fisto, same. He's going to be a really cool one to get. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to see Stinkor and Fisto on the list. Moving down the line, we've got 3 very cool figures for the standard Origins line. We've got the Green Goddess. That's awesome. Really surprising to see that again as a retail release because that's a very niche thing. You know, that's the goddess from the first couple mini comics from Masters of the Universe, was this all green colored character, which was basically Teela. So this is obviously going to be a Teela repaint, but still cool nonetheless to see. Web Store and Faker, also great figures. Faker makes a lot of sense because he's going to be a repaint, but he's a fan favorite. So why wouldn't we get Faker? That's pretty great to see too. All right, so we're moving into deluxe figures. And these are both very interesting because we have not heard of either of these yet. Deluxe Hordak, which is awesome. So first of all, leader of the evil horde. He's a very popular character. Really interesting that we're going to get him as a deluxe figure. Makes me think that he's probably going to get some interchangeable parts. I could totally see them doing like an interchangeable arm cannon, stuff like that. Most likely that's why he's going to be a deluxe figure. This next figure is a bit mind-blowing for me. Deluxe Mosquitor. What? Okay, so obviously Mosquitor is my personal favorite figure. This is a surprise to me. Getting Mosquitor this early on is a huge shocker, especially before so many other Horde villains, which are arguably much more popular than Mosquitor. Mosquitor was always an obscure character, but he's been a favorite of mine. I've been talking about him for years. I'm just going to go ahead and assume this is for me. It probably isn't, but hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and call this is a win for me. If I'm really getting Mosquitor this soon, this is amazing. This is exciting. It's really interesting that he's on a deluxe card, which makes me hope that means he's got actual blood pumping action feature going on there. I want the liquid blood in the chest, just like the vintage toy. That's what made that vintage toy so cool. Mattel's still using that action feature for things like Jurassic World, so I hope that that's why Mosquitor is a deluxe figure. If this is real, this is exciting. So excited. Okay, so they've got a new a vehicle listed, which is the Wind Raider. This is awesome. Now, it makes a lot of sense. The Wind Raider is sort of like He-Man's main vehicle from the vintage toy line. Makes a lot of sense to get the Wind Raider, especially since we already know we're getting the Land Shark for Skeletor. So this is very cool to see the Wind Raider coming to the line, if it's real. And now the next couple things are really interesting, and I don't know what these all mean. The next thing listed is animated feature figure. Now, I would imagine this is the Masters of the Universe multiverse, Masters of the Multiverse line that I talked about earlier, the 7-inch collector line coming out, because we already know that the first wave is going to be based on the Revelations animated series. That's probably what these are. But interestingly, they also have listed animated vehicles and an animated playset. Wow. So if they're going all in and giving us vehicles and a playset for the 7-inch line, that's really interesting and kind of surprising. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's real. They also have something called Masterverse Trade Up 2021. I have no idea what that means. No idea. But it's got the Masterverse name on it, which is what they're using. You know what? I wonder if okay, so now I'm just thinking of something on the spot. Maybe the animated feature figure, the animated vehicles, and the animated playset are not the Masterverse line. They're not based on Revelations. Maybe those are based on the other Netflix He-Man cartoon that's coming out. Because as we know, we're getting two. We're getting Revelation, which is supposed to be kind of like the adult-oriented cartoon. And then we're getting the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon, which is like the kids one. Maybe these animated ones are actually from the kids cartoon. Interesting. I don't know. I'm totally speculating right now. Last couple things are really interesting. We've got large-scale figure assortment and large-scale feature figures. I don't know what that means. I guess maybe we're getting some jumbo-sized toys. Maybe. Very possible. And the final thing on the list is minifigure blister cards, which sounds like they're going to be doing some blister-carded versions of the MOTU minis, which is really interesting as well. So there you have it. That is the leaked list of figures for, I'm assuming, 2021, probably the full year. But maybe not. Maybe that's just early in the year. I don't know. Like I said, this is not confirmed, except for the couple things we know for sure on this list are coming. Most of this list you need to take with a grain of salt. It has not been officially announced. This is just a list that's floating around on the internet. But it's really interesting to kind of look at it to see what might be coming. And hey, new Mosquitor. Haha! That's awesome.